Hey everybody, it's Stan aka Vimlasis, and today is the big day. Today we get to take this pile of pieces that we have gotten from the Marvel Legends Thor Ragnarok wave and put them all together to build the Incredible Hulk Gladiator. Alright, again, if you can't tell, I am super excited about this. I've been talking about this figure all week throughout the reviews, and today we're finally going to put them all together, check them out, take a peek at what I consider to be the best Build-A-Figure to date from Hasbro and Marvel Legends. We will go over all the important things like sculpting, paint, articulation, price point overall, and you may even see me drool a little bit. That's how good this figure is. So let's get them put together and really dive in and take a look at some of these details, and then you can see why I'm just gushing over this character. And there he is, all those awesome little pieces put together, and he is looking mean as shit. Man, I don't even know where to start with this Build-A-Figure. Every piece out of the package is just absolutely brilliant. The level of detail, and the level of paint, the level of sculpting, the articulation is its only weak point. But overall, man, this has got to be the absolute best Hulk I've ever seen. Now, I know Bandai is going to be coming out with one. I know Mezco is going to be coming out with one, and their versions will probably be pretty good as well. But for a Hasbro offering for Marvel Legends, man, this thing just takes the cake. There is not a piece on him that I do not like. There are some things about the figure itself I don't like, and we'll get into that as we go. But oh my god, it's amazing. So let's get started. Let's break it down by sculpting, paint, articulation, price point, overall, and let's get into the details and really check this out. So for now, let me go change my shorts because I'm just too excited about this, and then we'll get started. Alright, going over sculpt. Amazing. That's all I can simply say, is there is no detail in this that has been overlooked or was not thoroughly thought out and executed to the highest level. Every piece on this guy is just amazing, and usually you look at a figure and you kind of go, most of it's pretty good. That part, could use a little more work. There is nothing on here that I do not like. So on the sculpting, first of all, let's check out these ginormous weapons he's got. All right, he's got this huge hammer, which looks more like a big engine block, you know, and a nice 8-cylinder engine going on here. This thing is detailed nicely. It's got all these little symbols in here, all this amazing sculpting detail in here. It just looks great. I don't know what these holes are for. Maybe that's, you know, to shove people's bones in once he's broken them off. I don't know. But as you go down, even on the handle, it's got this great little, hear that? It's great little texture on here for grip, because, you know, he's Hulk. He's got to be able to grip that bad boy. And these just, that's awesome. I would not want to get hit with that. And then taking a look at his battle axe, again, even more impressive. Now, I don't know if he pulled these off of some spaceship or something to make these weapons with, because they all look like metal. Not like a sword metal or an axe metal, but they look like chunks of metal that, you know, he just kind of bit down here with his teeth and made them really sharp. And it's got all these little details on here. Again, same texture on this handle. So the sculpting on these is top notch. There isn't anything more you can really say. And he's even got the battle damage in, like we saw in Ares. Got some battle damage on here. But then looking at the figure himself, the helmet does come off, so we'll take a look at that. Again, perfect. The sculpt on the top part here is all sculpted in. None of that's painted. All these details in here. There's just like little battle damage all over the place. Just all this detail, man. I mean, wow, look at this. I mean, down here they've even got all these little pieces that just look amazing. Everywhere you look, something new to see, something more to see in this character, in this figure, and I couldn't be more impressed with it. And so looking at the actual Hulk himself, obviously he's a big guy, tons of muscle, so the muscle detail is there in everything, in all of the sculpt throughout the entire body. But it's these armor pieces that really kind of put the cherry on top, so to speak. You know, so all these little chunks of metal that he's just kind of thrown together to make some makeshift armor. Now he's Hulk. I don't know why he needs armor, but it looks cool as shit on him, I'll tell you that. So all these little lines in these armor here going down. This is a nice soft pliable material, which is great. You thought Hulk hit hard before? Imagine with a big chunk of metal on his hand. But just, I mean, just look at this detail in here. Everywhere, all throughout the entire piece. I mean, going all the way around. Man, they just did a wonderful job on this. Even down to these little Roman sandals he's wearing. He's got these little spikes on the front. Just every little detail is in here. There is nothing missing. Oh man, I think I'm gonna have to change my shorts again, because just looking at this closer and in detail is just, and all these little pieces under here, the straps on the arm, little soft pliable materials, the buckles, down to the straps on the hands that go all the way in, and each strap is detailed. It's got little lines and folds and bends in here. There is not a single thing wrong with the sculpting on him. Even the hair looks great. His muscle detail there, just everything. Beautiful. Great job, Hasbro, on this. This is the level all your characters should be at, all your figures should be at. If they were all to this detail, nobody would ever say a bad word about any of the Marvel Legends figures ever again. I guarantee it. So for sculpting, 10 out of 10, hands down. I would like to give it a 20 out of 10 because this thing is amazing. All right, checking out the paint again. Just awesome. The green, I really like the green on this. We've seen some Hulks that has some lighter green or some darker greens. I think this is a great shade. It's kind of that in between. It's not too light, it's not too dark, but it looks really, really good. The blue-ish tinge on these armor pieces with the purple straps going here and then running throughout all look fantastic. It's a great color combination. I know some blacks thrown throughout and these, you know, these gold textures here. But the paint job is, again, fantastic on it. Now, there isn't a huge amount of dirt wash on them, but there is some. And I love, oops, well, that popped off. That's okay. But I love how they painted in the chest hair here. That just really gives it that extra level of detail. All these little white battle markings and things of that nature. Now, again, I haven't seen the movie yet. Don't spoil it for me. But I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know how accurate these are. But that's okay. Even if they're not 100% accurate, they still look, I mean, amazing. And it goes all the way to, you know, up to the helmet. And then he's got it on his face, you know, running all the way down, even kind of crossed over on the shoulder strap here. So the painting on him is just amazing. Again, I don't see a single thing wrong with the paint. They could use a little more dirt wash, especially since it's Hulk, but because it is Hulk and he just beats the crap out of everything pretty quickly, I don't see him getting too dirty, honestly. So for paint, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 just because the level of detail here in the painting is fantastic. Even up in the eyes, they look great. I don't see anything on here that looks out of place or out of line. Even on the eyebrows, little dots of white everywhere. Amazing, amazing job. So for paint, 10 out of 10 again. Okay, going over articulation. Now, while I say this is as close to a perfect character as I've seen, this is where the limitations come in, and I'm going to be curious to see how the Bandai and Mezco versions do, just to see what they can do with the articulation on such a heavy character wearing so much armor. So even though his articulation is a little limited, I can forgive it just because of who it is. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. For this, I'll do it without the helmet because the helmet does not really hinder the articulation because the back piece is pliable. It kind of moves out of the way, as are any of these side pieces. So let's turn him this way. He's a big ass shoulder pad you can't see. So looking down, he can bury his chin into his chest. Looking up, you can get a pretty good amount, not too bad. But with shoulders this big, seriously, how far can you look? He's got a little side to side, but that's only when you kind of angle the head down a little bit. And of course, it does rotate. Now on the arms, they do come out to just under 90. And again, he's got these massive shoulders. What are you going to do? They do spin all the way around. The elbow joints are probably the weakest, and that's only because of these big weapons he carries. And I'd like to kind of have it where he sets them on his shoulder, you know, where he's in a pose. But because they don't bend too well, they don't get really past 90. See, they don't even go to 90. But it's still okay. I mean, look at the size of that bicep. My God. There is upper arm rotation, followed by the wrist joint, which allows you to spin all the way around, and they do in and out. Now, this arm is free of armor, so on this arm, the articulation is the same, and it can go around, but you do kind of have to pop the arm out a little bit just to get it to go all the way around because of that. But it does not hinder the arm coming up, and you see, it'll just pop out of there. But it does not hinder the arm coming up at all with that. Now in the waist, he does have the ball joint, which, you know, if you've watched any of my other reviews, I love the ball joints. So you can look down that far, go back not too much, but again, it's Hulk. I don't expect him to be bending backwards for anybody. Does get good side to side and a good bend side to side at the waist. Now at the legs, this to me is the weakest part, only because of the way that it pops in here. And you can see the joint, right? It's just got that peg with that hole. Now on mine, the left leg here does not stay all that well. So as you're kind of posing him around, and especially when you're trying to bend his legs, this will pop off. But it's fairly easy to put it back on, so I'm not too concerned about it. It is one of those minor annoyances, but for this figure, again, little things like that do not bug me. So coming out, you can get pretty good split. You can go forward about yay much. You see this is a soft pliable material, so it does get out of the way. He does have the upper leg rotation, but again, on mine, this one's a little loose. This one, super tight, is not coming off. Double jointed knees, which are really stiff, but there you go. You see, it kind of pops off as I do that, just because I think this hole is a little bit bigger than that peg. So we'll just look at it this way then. Double jointed knees, which can get up pretty good. Huge calf muscles. No lower leg rotation, but the foot does have hardly any up. Does go back, and you do get great ankle pivot. So, like I said, the articulation is probably the weakest on this, but it's Hulk, so I can forgive some of those limitations to the articulation because he's so big, he's so bulky, and he's wearing all this armor. I mean, holy crap, I can't move this good if I'm butt naked. So even though it's limiting in some places, and on mine this is a little loose, this joint here where the leg wants to keep popping off is a little loose, I still have to give the articulation a 9 because it's the character. This was a skinny character like Loki or somebody who's supposed to be real agile, real bendy and flexible. This articulation probably only be like a 7. But because it's Hulk, I can forgive some of it. So for articulation, we're going to give this a 9. As far as price point goes, it's free. Okay, no, it's not free. You have to buy all the other characters in the wave to get all the individual pieces. So if you think about it, there's 6 of them at 20 bucks a piece. 6 times 2 is 12, so that's 120 bucks really for this. Is it worth it? That's where we're going to determine. But because this character is so amazing, I wouldn't mind paying that for this. Now, I know, you know, the Hot Toys version of this is like, what, 400 bucks? But obviously it's a bigger scale, much better detail. So I'll be interested to see how the Bandai and the Mezcos come out and what their price point is to kind of give a fair comparison. But for this character, which I essentially consider free since every other figure in this line was amazing and I'm glad I have, I consider him free. So for that, of course you can't go wrong. So price point, 10 out of 10, absolutely all day, every day. All right, so overall, Oh, you can't see it, but behind the camera, I am literally dancing back here. This thing, again, is top-notch. Every single detail has been taken into account. And what makes it even better is that every figure that was in this wave was amazing. So you get these 6 amazing characters and figures and toys, and then to top it off, you get this guy? Come on. It doesn't get any better than that. So overall, man, I have to give him a 9 out of 10. And the only reason I'm taking a point off is I'm trying to be fair here, even though I am truly so excited about this guy, and I love taking pictures of him, and I love just displaying him. I have to be fair. There is some limited articulation, and one other problem I've seen with him is these hands, because this plastic is so thick, and they've made these handles really thick as well. It can be difficult to get the weapons in his hand, and you see my hammer's a little bent, but see, even that I can be like, okay, that's a heavy ass hammer, it's gonna bend a little, whatever. But the limited articulation on some points, like I said, I'm good with because of the character himself, but that's where I would take the 1 point off. But besides for that, I mean, come on, show me a Build-A-Figure that is better than this. And I've got quite a few of them. I think the next closest would probably be the Hulk Buster. That's a really good Build-A-Figure as well once you get all those pieces. But now that I think about it, I haven't paired those two up in any photos yet. Interesting. So anyway, overall, I'm going to give him a 9. I would love to give him a 10, but I wouldn't be fair if I was doing that, because it is not a perfect figure. It is damn close and probably the best Hulk I've seen in a while. So 9 out of 10 for overall. So there you have it. There is the Hulk Build-A-Figure all put together. I hope it was worth it. I know for me it has been. This has quickly become one of my favorite figures that I have. I would love to just take him around with me everywhere. The only problem is he's really heavy, really weighs down my camera bag. I know, bad problem to have, right? So as always, head over to exclucollective.com to check out a full picture gallery of this guy here crushing some skulls and bashing and just being overall Hulk kick-ass himself, the green gladiator monster, the Incredible Hulk. Alright, we will see you next time for the next set of reviews. Peace.